Hey guys, this is Kelly. I am back with another process video. This layout is for stuck sketches, and I just had up on the screen previous that the sketch that we were using for the September 15th reveal. I am using the August Felicity Jane kit. I believe the name is Zoe. This was their birthday themed kit. I love the colors of this kit and knew that I had some pictures that I wanted to scrapbook with it. These two photos of my daughter being one of them. So I'm just trying to figure out which colors I want to highlight. Looking at the sketch, I knew that I wanted to have some of the pinks and yellows just shown. They just worked well with the photo, and I liked the little hints of color that they added. So I am going to go ahead and trim my paper to 11.5 by 11.5 because I know that I want to mat it on a piece of pattern paper. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure at this point if I'm going to use this yellow polka dot. You might see me switch it out to the pink. I look at the background of that, the yellow polka dot with the hearts, and I'm just going to flip them around a little bit until I decide what I want to do. So I did cut out a lot of that because I spent way too much time doing that. And I also cut out me just rifling through some of the embellishments to figure out which ones may be worked onto this page. So what I am doing now is this is my new technique for gutting the paper. I really like the way this works. I tend to have better control over it. I use my Caterpillar cutter, but it is a rotary blade, so I can't set it down in the middle of paper to trim the edges. So just using my craft knife, I found that if I lightly pencil lines down the page, that by just slowly going down the line, I have a pretty straight edge and it doesn't take too long, and I'm just happier with that technique. I don't know why it took me so long to get to that point, but it did. So the sketch calls for either one or two strips of pattern paper down at the bottom along with the title, and I found this branding strip that has a lot of hearts on it, so I'm just trimming it up a little bit because I thought it would be really cute down at the bottom along with just a small strip of that rainbow-ish like a painterly look pattern paper. I just thought that those two together were sweet. These photos are of my daughter, gosh, 15 years ago, and I wanted a sweet page. This is a page for me just to relive this little stage in her, babyhood. She was just a sweet, happy baby, and you can see on the picture on the right, she has this little smile. She smiled at anyone, at everyone. She was always happy. There was nothing more to this page other than just saying, that she was just a happy baby. So I'm just going to move around a few of the pieces of the kit to see what I like and where. I have not used a lot of this kit, and there's a lot of birthday themed embellishments with it. So I'm trying to pull out the things that aren't themed and that will work with my colors and with the scheme that I want to do, which is primarily just the yellow and the pink with, little splashes of aqua. So I did take that Project Life card and I trimmed down like a sliver of paper. It's probably about an inch wide, and I'm going to put a banner at the top of the photo just like the sketch calls for. And I trimmed the scallop border, and before I fussy cut it, I thought I would just put it up there to see if I liked it. And while it is cute and while I do like it, I didn't love it. So I'm just going to sit on it for a while and think about it, and I'm going to end up switching it out for something else. So one of the things that the sketch calls for is a tag in that top left-hand corner, and that would not be a place that I would normally put the tag. So I'm going to try it there and see how I like it and see if it works. And while I'm, just doing that, because I don't know what I really want on this page and where, I'm just going to keep on working on things. And so I thought that I would trim that piece of scrap paper that I had, the pink, and see if I liked the banner with that yellow and white gingham. And I felt like it was the same color as the mat that I have behind that pattern paper that's striped, and I just wanted something a little bit different. So I've decided that I love that painterly striped paper, and I want to see if I like that as a border instead of the black and white scallop. And this was what it needed. I wanted something soft. I mean, it is a baby layout. I like black, and I am going to use a black title on this, but I just felt like that the black with the photos was just too much just for this layout. I have used, black. Black is a great contrast color. It wasn't working for me. And I'm sure, looking back at it, it didn't look as bad as I thought, but it was just one of those things that here in the moment, I wasn't happy with it. So the title on the sketch is down at the bottom, and I like it, but I don't like the way that I can't anchor the beginning of the title. And so I'm going to play around with it and see what I can do. I even, thought about moving it up underneath the photos because the happy die cut would be better suited up there, and it wasn't working. So I decided that what I wanted to do was do a couple of little things to the layout that I knew that I wanted to do just to add, that little extra touch. And I pulled out one of my favorite punches, this larger scallop punch. And while I was doing that, I thought, there's nothing that says, and this is true all the time, there's nothing that says when you have a sketch that you have to use it exactly how it is laid out. It is just an idea. It's a jump starter. And I thought, well, you know what? I will just use this and go with more of a diagonal layout. And I'm going to move the title over to the lower left-hand side of the page. And it works well because it balances out the two photos. So I'm liking that better, but I don't like the happy die cut. And I really, really, really wanted to get that used because it is so sweet. It's a beautiful script, and I just really wanted to use it since it was included in the kit. However, I'm not going to fight with something continually if it's not working. I'm going to make what I think looks better work on the page. And I just went ahead and I pulled out the happy with the letter stickers that came in the kit. So off screen, I went ahead and I stitched around the edges of the pattern paper and around the edges of the layout. Of course, you know me and my doilies. I'm going to add a doily behind the photos. I just love that little extra bit of softness that it gives, along with another layer without adding any more color. This layout I wanted to be light and bright, and I think that I definitely achieved that. So with the banner, I didn't think that the edges were deep enough, so I just went ahead with my scissors and free-handed it and just made it a little deeper. I like that addition. And I pulled out some of this crepe paper trim. This is old. I don't even know how old this trim is. I would probably say 2009, maybe 2010, somewhere around there. And I decided that I wanted to use that on this page as well because it was a perfect, sweet little page to use things like that lace trim and the scalloped velvet ribbon that I'll be using. So before I adhere any of that, I decided that I wanted to mat this one photo of my daughter with her smiling, because that is going to be the focal photo. And what I am doing is I'm just trimming the pattern paper a little bit so that you can see some of the hearts on each side, and I like the way that that turns out, and it just takes a little bit of forethought when you're putting down your photo as to where it's going to be. So I tried to use my quick dry adhesive on this and glue it down, and it helps just to tack it down enough for me to be able to flip it over and secure it with some washi tape. It is just not going to stick. I didn't want to use a ton of glue because I knew that it was going to seep out. So it just helped me get it enough in place to where I could secure it with some washi tape. And that's all I did. I knew that I was going to put some craft foam underneath it. And so I'm just really careful when I when I do put it down, to make sure that the foam is on top of that washi tape, just to help it stay in place a little bit more. So one of the things that I was really happy with this layout was the fact that I could use those trims. I'm going to use 2 of the ones from that pack. It's always so nice to be able to use something that you've had in your stash for years. You know, obviously when we get kits, it would be nice to kill a kit. I'll be honest with you, I very rarely kill kits. It's just not in me. And I'm okay with that. I will get 4 or 5 layouts done, and then I'll break the kit apart and incorporate it with my, stash. So here I'm trying to make this yellow tiny floral work on the page, and it just really isn't. So I walk away from it and come back, and then I pull out a few more embellishments. I go ahead and I trim that yellow lace and put that over top of the scallop border, and just really like the way that that looks. It just adds a little bit of sweet factor, I think. So I'm much happier with the title this way. These letters are some of my most favorite, and I went ahead and I cut out me putting down the title because it took me a while, because I moved the letters around a little bit, and this video was getting long. So I'm sorry if it was jumping a little bit, but it was just, I'd like to do things to where I don't, I'm going to say, overstay my welcome when it comes to the length of videos. You know, I know that I have an attention span between 10 and 15 minutes, so that's what I try to keep my videos for. So again, I'm struggling with tying this twine. It takes me a little bit, but I finally get a decent enough bow. These little tags are included in the kit as well, and I just loved that sweet little heart. I like that it repeats the hearts down at the bottom with that branding strip, and it repeats the hearts on the paper mat. So that is one of the things, that's one of the things that you can do when you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your layout, is repetition. If you have a flower, use multiple. If you have stars, use multiple. You can use them in different colors. It just helps to make the layout cohesive and bring everything together. So again, I should have edited a little bit more of this out. I'm sorry, it is very boring to watch me tie this twine. But what I did find was that when I used a little bit of my ATG gun underneath the tags and was able to keep them still on the photo, that it was easier for me to tie the bow. So I think that was why I kept it in, because I like to leave little tips and tricks that help me, because sometimes, you know, things just aren't going very easy for you or me. So one of the last things that I'm going to do is take these sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps and just put a few around the page. I thought it would be a sweet little addition just to line them up. Something a little bit different. I'm not going to scatter them like I would normally scatter them with like enamel dots. Just have 3 by the title and then 3 by the photo. And that definitely, you know, draws your eye to the 2 things that I really want to draw your eye to. So these stickers, it's hard to tell that they are stickers, are from the Typecast collection and Michaels, and I like them because they're different lengths. They're meant to use in their typewriter, and you know, you can make your own, I guess, little word stickers. Well, I've taken these hearts from the Felicity Jane kit, the Felicity Jane stamp set, and I also took the phrase the cutest, because of course I think my baby is the cutest, and I am going to put the cutest on top of the heart and then the yellow heart at the bottom, and then I'm going to stamp these little 3 hearts on another sticker, and I'm going to put that on the pink photo tab up above her photo. So again, that's going to be it for me today. I do have some close-ups at the end. Oh, and I added in a close-up of my ink stain. Some of you may have seen my post on Facebook. I had an ink smudge on my hand, and I was trying to get, and I wasn't sure what to do to get it off, and I ended up scraping it with a craft knife, and I was able to get most of it off, and it still looked good enough for me to put into my albums. So if you're wondering what that is how it was fixed. So thanks so much for joining me. Go to my blog. That we are with a blog hop with my creative scrapbooks, and there's a chance to win a kit. So make sure you check out the blog and the other design team members. Again, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.